Welcome. I'm Clay T. White, a licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. Thank you for joining me today as we move into meditation, into this time of reflection and contemplation. I invite you now to relax in this moment. Welcome back to the third and final session of our three-part meditation on justice and freedom. Let's go within to that space where we commune with the presence, that special, perfect kingdom space. Is there anything else? After communing within our kingdom space over these weeks, releasing all lack and loving our neighbor, is there anything else? Knowing that there is one spirit in which everyone lives, moves, and have their being, we are to feel this spirit not only in our consciousness, but in our affairs. Pour it onto your finances. Pour it onto your idea of justice for all. We feel it as we make choices for our family, for our friends, and our careers. This is what freedom feels like. surrounded by a mind and intelligence that knows everything. All things exist in this mind. It is the abstract essence of beauty, truth, and wisdom. We all coexist in this mind, in this universe. We all exist in it, and we draw from it. And what we draw from it, we draw through the channel of our own mind. Draw from it now. Know that we are this intelligence expressed. We are each this divine intelligence expressed. We know that the universe is conspiring to make us happy. Part of our job as religious scientists is to sit in the silence and vision. This vision from the divine creates light on our path and gives us a sense of knowing. Visioning teaches us to wait for the results. The vision is up to us, up to our spiritual practice, up to our loving of our neighbor. Our job as spiritual scientists is to sit in the silence and vision. The vision is up to us, up to our spiritual practice. As we come back to this physical space, let's envision a world that works for all of us in freedom and in justice. And so it is.
Welcome. This is Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. CSLGLV is known as a teaching center. You may wish to experience this celebration service as many of our members do by having pen and paper nearby. Be ready to jot down many of the ideas, teachings, and inspirations presented here today. The service begins right after these community messages. The monthly publication, Science of Mind magazine, is a treasure to be read and contemplated. Along with in-depth articles, there is a day-to-day spiritual support to be gleaned from its daily guides. Licensed practitioner Lynn Frankenberger hosts Adventures in Faith every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and you're invited to join in. This is a weekly group discussion that focuses on those daily guides and how to apply them. Check Facebook and our weekly newsletter for more details. CSL Greater Las Vegas brings you much of your favorite spiritual music every Friday at 7 p.m. with spiritual soundscapes. Enjoy performances from CSLGLV vocalists along with special guest singers. It's music for your soul. Subscribe to the CSLGLV YouTube channel to get a convenient link sent to you for each musical performance. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation. Before we begin this celebration service, let's all join in and sing our opening song together.
Celebrate a new day. Celebrate the beauty of the earth. Come and look at life in a new way. Celebrate the wonder of rebirth. Arise, shine, and see a brand new morning. Arise, shine, we made it through the night. Arise, shine, it's a brand new day that's dawning. Come celebrate the light. Arise, shine, and see a brand new morning. Arise, shine, we made it through the night. Arise, shine, it's a brand new day that's dawning. Come celebrate the light. Come celebrate the light. Come and celebrate the light.
Arise and shine. It is a brand new morning. I am Clay T. White, a licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and it is my pleasure to be here with you as we experience this uplifting celebration service together. Before we get started, I would like to mention that if you are in the need of or seek spiritual nourishment throughout your week, make sure you subscribe to this channel by clicking the red subscribe button and bell icon below. This way, you'll be informed of our weekly Monday message, our meditations, and our uplifting soulful music. Become spiritually connected with us throughout the week just by subscribing. And throughout this service, if you feel a need for prayer, a prayer and a blessing for you, a family member, or a friend, then please go to our website and select our prayer request. Prayer and meditation are two very powerful spiritual traditions here in our community. Know that licensed spiritual practitioners are deeply committed to supporting you through prayer. We are here for you. Please feel free to call on us. As a matter of fact, even as I speak, 2 practitioners are providing spiritual support right now for you, for me, for our entire community. They are holding us in deep spiritual, loving care from their homes by sitting in meditation during this service. We thank Debbie Little and Madge Castle for holding high watch for each one of us today. And now, let us take a moment to consider this week's affirmation. You may wish to jot it down or take a picture of it and keep it with you as a source of inspiration throughout the week. I'll read the affirmation and then we'll enter into contemplation together, after which I will give the invocation. I am the co-creator of my life. I am the co-creator of my life.
I breathe in, I breathe out, I take in, I give out, I let love, I let go, I release, and I know I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed, I am whole, I release, and I know.
All people are of common origin. God personified from the one God that is. This God is all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere present. We are one family. I speak my word for the conscious desire for justice by all, for all, from hearts that are filled with the fire of love, the heat of the Almighty. I speak my word for a world that works ideally for everyone, a world where we share the good, all the good, abundance, peace, light, happiness, truth and freedom, a world where we daily secure equality for all, a world where different races and cultures live in harmony and mutual respect, a world where peace is built with justice and justice is guided by love. I set the tone for this consciousness today. I am so grateful. And so it is.
Breathe, breathe. I breathe in, I breathe out, I take in,
Finding myself at a loss for words, and the funny thing is, that's okay. The last thing I need is to be heard, but to hear what you've been saying. Word of God speaks, pour down like rain, washing these eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. Word of God speaks. Finding myself in the midst of you, beyond the music, beyond the noise. All that I need is to be with you in the quiet. I hear your voice, word of God speaks. Pour down like rain, washing these eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. Word of God speaks when you pour down like rain, washing these eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. I'm finding myself at a loss for words, and the funny thing is, that's okay.
Well, good morning, beloveds. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas' Sunday morning service. My name is Reverend Laura Hallett, and it is my pleasure to be the spiritual leader of this amazing community here in Southern Nevada. And my, what a glorious day it is in our community. And I trust that wherever you are in the world, you are experiencing the full expression of the divine in all of its glory as well, in whatever way it decided to show up for you today. I'd like to start off our service this morning with a little gratitude. First off, to our amazing practitioners. We had a wonderful meditation and invocation brought to us by Clay T. White. And we have Debbie Little and Madge Castle sitting high watch, holding that consciousness of love throughout our time together. I'd like to thank our music team led by Justin Vogel with Mackenzie and David and Melissa, and the amazing talent that they bring to our musical message each week. I'd also like to thank our media team led by Joe Blom, and our core council and all of our amazing volunteers. Honestly, it truly takes a village to bring each of these services to you, and we are blessed to have such a heart of service represented in each of these individuals. For our 2022, we are following Center for Spiritual Living's global theme of living everyday wonder. Each month, we're taking a look at a different life structure and exploring how we can find more wonder, awe, and joy in our lives. For the month of February, we're looking at our inner lives. We're looking at how we are intimately connected to Spirit and how it is moving into expression throughout our lives. So today's talk title is Pause and Find the Cause. And so I thought today we could actually do that. We can take a few moments to pause and reflect on what's operating within our consciousness that may be the root of some of the conditions we're experiencing lately. So throughout my talk today, I will give us an opportunity to pause for a few moments and reflect on what's happening within us that may be affecting what it is we're experiencing. It might be helpful for you to have some paper and something to write with handy. You may want to jot down anything that is revealed to you throughout this time. Before we get into the pause, let's take a look at some of our basic beliefs. In our Declaration of Principles, or what we believe statements, our founder Ernest Holmes writes, "We believe the ultimate goal of life to be complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. The ultimate goal of life is a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature." And that's available to everyone. So what is it that stops us from attaining this goal of complete emancipation from all discord? I know that's something I think I'd like to experience. Well, I think it goes back to what we individually believe and how our beliefs are outpicturing in our lives. One of our basic beliefs is that every effect in our life has an underlying cause. And that cause is often based on a hidden belief that we may or may not know is operating in our experience. Now, these beliefs can stem from old patterns of thought that we've had operating in our lives for our entire lifetime. They could be internalized family structures and beliefs that are working through us. Or they could be what we call race consciousness thought. And that's those ideas that permeate society at a deep level that we don't always even know are existing, or that it is something that we actually believe in until we hear it. These beliefs operate in our consciousness in ways that we are often not aware of. And sometimes, because we're not aware of them, sometimes it's hard to link the experiences we have with these unconscious thoughts. Dr. Holmes says, "Our thought of anything creates a spiritual prototype of that thing. Within the prototype, there is a law of growth which ever tends to produce the desired result. This is the law of cause and effect. It always produces a desired result." Well, why is it then that sometimes we experience things that we would never ever call a desired result? Well, it's because that this intelligence, this creative mind that is always operating, acts impersonally. It doesn't stop to judge whether something is good or bad, or right or wrong, or even in our best interest. It simply responds to our thoughts. Ernest puts it this way: "We are surrounded by an intelligent law which is creative. It receives the impress of our thought automatically and reacts to it impersonally. It does not ask who we are or anything about us. It is an impersonal law, and its response to us is as unfailing as a mirror's reflection of an object held in front of it." You know, a mirror can only reflect back to it what is standing in front of it. And the same thing is happening with this intelligence that is operating. It is simply reflecting back to us our thought. So this creative intelligence is bringing into our experiences those things which reflect the thoughts that we think. Ernest goes on to say this: "The reflection of an image in a mirror is an exact likeness of the image which is held before the mirror. So the law of cause and effect reflects back to us a likeness of the images of our thought. Thus we are told that we reflect the glory of God. But too often, we are actually reflecting the fear and limitation of humankind, rather than the glory of God. If we kept ourselves in that situation where we were in that place, that high and holy place, where we were able to simply reflect back the magnificence of the divine, then all we would be experiencing in our lives is the magnificence of the divine. But, as he says, we often reflect the fear and limitation of humankind rather than the glory of God. So I want to take a time here, and we're going to pause, and we're going to reflect on some of the experiences that we happen to be having in our lives right now. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I'm going to pause to give you a few moments to reflect on those questions and jot down anything that you might like to remember at the end of this. So let's start by turning within. What I mean by that is we just begin to center ourselves. And I often do this by taking a couple of purposeful and conscious breaths. The breath allows me to center myself in my body and in the physical environment that my body happens to be in right now. So just, if you want, it helps me to close my eyes. If you would like to do that, go ahead. But either way works, so you don't have to do that. And just take it a couple of conscious, purposeful breaths. And allow that breath to connect you in your body. As your awareness is tuned into your breath and you feel it moving through you, it grounds you and centers you in your body. Now just take a moment and notice the physical structures that are supporting you right now. It might be a chair or a couch or a bed or the floor. Just notice it and acknowledge how your body and how this structure and your body are connected in this moment. And now let's just take a moment or two and reflect on your current life, on what's happening in your life right now. What are some of the things that you are experiencing right now? You don't have to limit it to challenging experiences. What are any of the experiences that you're having right now? What are the thoughts, the dominant thoughts that are most active in your life right now? Try not to judge them. This is only for your reflection. What goes on through your mind most of the time? How are these current thoughts reflecting in my life right now? How are these thoughts showing up in your life right now? What is the link between these thoughts and the way that my life is out picturing? So look at the thoughts and look at what's happening in your life. And can you see a link between the two? And where in my experience can I begin to shift my beliefs about it? Where in my experience can I begin to have new thoughts around this belief? Ernest says, the secret place of the Most High is at the center of our own being, where in the silence we wait on Spirit and permit the perfect law to fulfill our desire. This is what we call waiting upon the Lord. And when we permit the divine images of perfection to flow through our consciousness, reflecting themselves through the law of cause and effect into our objective conditions. Can you wait upon the Lord and allow that divine Spirit to bring into your experience the conditions that you actually want to be experiencing, the desired results? And one final question. What new beliefs can I begin to cultivate? This one is a tricky one. And so as you ponder this question, make sure that these beliefs are something you can truly buy into. When we try to attach platitudes, things that we don't really believe, to a situation, we're engaging in what we call spiritual bypass. And that doesn't work for anyone. So as you think about new beliefs that you want to cultivate, make sure that they are something that you can actually get behind. Something that you can believe in. Now just take a moment or two and look back over anything that you've written down, or if you didn't write it down, think about what occurred to you during this time. And jot down any notes that you want to remember about that, or make a mental note for yourself. As we move through all of our life structures over the next 11 more months, then we're going to be looking at different things in different ways and how our beliefs are showing up. There is a cause behind every effect. There is a reason that these things are happening in our lives. And oftentimes we get really hard on ourselves about it. You may even have people in your realm of friends that will say things like to you, well, what belief did you have that caused that? Or how did you cause that situation in your life? And it isn't about placing blame on there. It's about becoming aware of how our thoughts are operating in our lives and how they are outpicturing into our experiences. When we begin to shift the way that we think about things, and it can be so simple. It can be so simple. I remember one time I was at the doctor, and when I was a young woman, I was diagnosed with lupus. I since have no longer have that in my experience, but at this time, I was seeing a doctor, and the doctor said, well, how are you feeling today? And I said to the doctor, oh, my lupus has flared up. And my doctor looked at me and said, the lupus. And it was such a simple little shift in how I phrased it that I began to actually see how much I had owned that illness and how much I allowed that illness to operate in my life simply because of my belief system. I had been diagnosed with it, therefore it was mine. I owned it. And when I stopped owning it, I stopped having as much of an experience. And as I said, I was just at the doctor recently, and they said we can't find any trace of it. And so I think just as we shift simple things, like from one word, from one 2-letter word to one 3-letter word, how small and what a tiny little shift that was that made such a huge impact in my life, simply by looking at what my beliefs were about it and then shifting that in just the most minute way, brought about a different experience in my life, a long-lasting different experience in my life. And I think this is possible for many of the situations that we encounter. When we are so wrapped up in the situation, it's very hard for us to look and see how our beliefs are out picturing. And the other thing I want to really emphasize is this is not about blaming ourselves. These are long-held, ingrained patterns of belief, thought patterns that we've had. As I said, there are things that have been operating in our families for generations. There are things that have been operating in our society for generations. And we have bought into the idea that that's how it has to be. But when we stop that and we can step back from it and look at it from a higher place, that secret place of the Most High, as Ernest said, when we can stop that, we can actually begin to have different experiences in our lives. And so looking at this, the cause of things, is a very, very powerful spiritual practice. And it's one that we can begin to engage in. I think that when we do this, when we're right in the middle of a situation, sometimes it's really hard to actually see because we're so caught up in the situation that I can't get around to figuring out what's operating there. But when I take a moment and I can actually sit in the situation and be with it and see what's happening in my life, then I can actually begin to change the experiences that I'm having. I believe this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us at this time to experience something different in our lives, to have a different experience of the situations that we are encountering all the time. And so let's just take this into prayer, into our spiritual mind treatment. And this is another way that we can actually begin to shift our thoughts, to shift our old patterns of belief, and to shift what's happening in our lives. And so in our form of prayer, it's affirmative prayer. We call it spiritual mind treatment. And the first thing we do is we recognize the presence of the divine, and then we unify ourselves with it and talk about how it's operating in our lives. And then we state spiritual truth. We give thanks and we let it go. Knowing that it is complete and done, we just simply release it. And so I just invite you to, once again, turn within. Whatever way works for you. I'm going to close my eyes. You do with what works for you. I have some friends that like to lift their eyes up high. It's whatever works. And so becoming still, I sense and feel that presence of the divine. I know that it is permeating every ounce of my being, every cell in my body, every experience I have, because I know that nothing exists except this one. That it is that creative intelligence that has brought forth everything into existence from its own essence and through its own energy. This divine spirit created all. Everything that has ever been, everything that is yet to be, is all a perfect and unique emanation of the One. And I know that One as that perfect peace, that unconditional love, that infinite joy, and that creative intelligence. And because I know that there is only one, I know that I am one with it. I know the power that created all created me. It indwells me. It permeates my being in every aspect. It is the life I am leading. And because I know this is true for me, I know this is true for everyone. That we are all that perfect, unique emanation of the One. Brought here to allow Spirit to experience life through and as each one of us. And so in complete realization of the power and the presence of the divine operating throughout all life, I now speak my word. I know that there is this creative intelligence, this impartial intelligence that is constantly and continuously working throughout all life, that it receives the impress of our thoughts and acts upon it to bring about our experiences. And I know that it is through changing how we believe, changing how we think, that we change what we experience. I know this consciousness leads us to a greater and deeper expression of itself throughout all our time. That it is continuously moving itself into expression through us, through our experiences, through our thoughts, through our beliefs. And I know that when we rest in that consciousness of one, then our thoughts are uplifted and our experiences are changed. For this is the nature of the divine. And how good it is to know this, how good it is to feel it and experiencing it, how good it is to see it operating in the lives of the beloveds around me. And just give thanks for this. Thanks for this knowing. Thanks for this demonstration. Thanks for the way that it is. And I release this word into the law, into that creative intelligence that says yes. I let it go and I let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Here at Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas, we are a mission and vision-driven community. We offer transformative educational opportunities, deep and meaningful moments of connection, uplifting Wednesday and Sunday services. We greatly appreciate your contributions that support the amazing work we're doing here in Southern Nevada. We have several easy ways you can contribute. We have text to give. Simply text the amount of your donation to our text to give number and you'll be prompted to enter your information. There's a link to our online donation page posted below this video where you can contribute by debit or credit card. And of course, you're always welcome to send a check to our office if that works better for you. All of your contributions go to support the great work that we're doing here in Greater Las Vegas community.
In my own little world, it hardly ever rains. I've never gone hungry and I've always felt safe. Got money in my pocket, shoes on my feet. In my own little world, it's population need. I try to stay awake through the Sunday morning church. Though it's money on the plate, but I don't give till it hurts. And I turn off the news if I don't like what I see. Yeah, it's easy to do when it's population need. But what if there's a greater purpose? What if I'm missing out? What if there's a bigger picture I could be living right now? My own little world. Ooh. Stopped at a red light, looked out my window. Saw a cardboard sign saying help this homeless widow. And just above that I saw the face of a human. And I thought to myself, God, what have I been doing? So I rolled down the window and I looked her in the eyes. Oh, how many times have I just driven by? I gave her some money and I took off through. In my own little world is population too. Whoa, what if there's a bigger picture? What if I'm missing out? What if there's a greater purpose I could be living right now? My own little world, my own little world. Whoa, whoa. My heart for what breaks yours. Give me open hands and open doors. Put your light in my eyes to help me see that my own little world is not about me. Cause what if there's a bigger picture? What if I'm missing out? What if there's a greater purpose I could be living right now? I don't wanna miss what matters. I wanna be reaching out. Tell me there's a greater purpose so I can start living right now. My own little world, my own little world. Ooh, my own little world.
Thank you, Mackenzie. You always inspire and uplift us with your wonderful talent. And thank you for your generous gift in support of our center. We remain committed to serving you. Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas continues to provide enriching services, transformative classes, and powerful opportunities for connection within our community. Be sure to watch the announcements at the end of today's service for what's coming up in the weeks ahead. Now let's join together in a closing song before our benediction.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the hearts, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world, a blessing to the world. We're a blessing to the world.
Well, I want to thank you all for being with us this morning. It's such a joy to know that you are out there and that we are connected in this way. I also want to invite you to our free workshop this afternoon, Being in Love with the One. It's kind of a nod to Valentine's Day and to spiritual practice and spiritual connection. So I think I've got it scheduled so that it doesn't interfere terribly much with Super Bowl Sunday. At least that's what I've been told. I'm not really a fan, but I know there are many of us out there that love the Super Bowl. So if you want to sign up for that, please go to our website, www.CSLGLV.org, and register for that. Please make sure you do it before 1 o'clock so that we can get the link sent to you. I also want to remind you and invite you to our in-person service next Sunday at Abston Elementary School. We will be broadcasting live from there as well. So if you want to continue to watch us on the YouTube here, that's perfectly fine too. But we would love to have your presence with us in person on Sunday. So please check out our website again for the information, the address, the times, and all of that stuff is posted on the website. And I want to remind you to just take those moments where you can and pause. Pause and look for the cause. Look for what is operating in your consciousness that is allowing you to have the experiences that you're having. And you know, it's a really good spiritual practice to just pause. That's when we feel connected. That's what we look for in meditation. That's the ultimate goal of meditation, is to find the pause. Because it's in the pause that Spirit speaks to us. It's in the pause where we get those downloads, where spiritual insight is available to us. So as many times as you can throughout the day, take a moment and pause. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You know, find those opportunities when you can just be quiet for a moment and pause. And check in with yourself and see what's operating. And begin to look for ways that you can replace those hidden beliefs with something that you actually really want to be experiencing. All right. I'm knowing that each and every one of you has a beautiful and blessed week, and I can't wait to see you on Sunday. Have a great day. Thanks.
The monthly publication, Science of Mind magazine, is a treasure to be read and contemplated. Along with in-depth articles, there is a day-to-day spiritual support to be gleaned from its daily guides. Licensed practitioner Lynn Frankenberger hosts Adventures in Faith every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and you're invited to join in. This is a weekly group discussion that focuses on those daily guides and how to apply them. Check Facebook and our weekly newsletter for more details. CSL Greater Las Vegas brings you much of your favorite spiritual music every Friday at 7 p.m. with Spiritual Soundscapes. Enjoy performances from CSLGLV vocalists along with special guest singers. It's music for your soul. Subscribe to the CSLGLV YouTube channel to get a convenient link sent to you for each musical performance. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation.